Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You said usually Giga's on top of my follow channels on the left, but now it's all the way on the bottom. Is Twitch trying to tell me something? Yeah, you have to unfollow everyone else. Sorry, you just have to. It's the only way. And follow them all. Only use my codes. Oh, actually, I want to say that. Using my code on a product supports me more than even just buying my own product through that company with like most, if not all, companies. So I just want to say that. Because someone was asking, they were like, I don't, the code usage, they were like, the code usage probably doesn't matter too much. It's more about if that person releases a thing. And I was like, no, the code usage is actually the thing that really, really does it. It's a mix of both, but the code usage is most important for us, as far as like financial support and stuff. So I just wanted to note that, you know. No, not getting honeyed at the end last second. No. It's the ones directly through those companies, I mean. But yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to note it because someone was asking the other day and they were like, someone else answered them and was like, no, buy their product. That's what matters. And I was like, no, that's good too. But the biggest financial support is the code usage. So for someone who's like little old me that doesn't make more $1 billion, yeah, it does make a dent. I just want to clarify it because I feel like people don't know how that works, and no one's going to tell you exactly how many dollars they get from this or what percentage they get from that because you can't. It's a contractual thing. No one's going to say it, you know. So I'm not going to give you a number, but I will say it does help the most. The most. It is very important to use someone's code if you're trying to help them out financially. If that's the point of you using that code or picking and choosing, you know. I don't think anyone's ever really clarified that for their chats, really. Because it's like hard to talk about it without giving numbers, you know. But I can at least put in a comparative thing, like, you know. Is it between $1 and 1 million? Sure. Sure. First time hearing this. Yeah, and it depends on the company. There are some companies where you'll have a discount code with them and it gives you, you know, 1%, and others where it's like you get a flat this many dollars or something like that. And it just depends on the company and their contract and everything. But as far as anything that I'm a part of, the code usage is very important to me, yes. It is. But yeah. It is incredibly, incredibly helpful. So if you see anything new, any new products come up at any point, use my code for it specifically. Just saying, I can't leak new stuff, but there's some cool new stuff coming up. I can say that at least. Stuff happening. I could say that, right? You know. Did the stream recover yesterday for the crash? No. It did not. So yesterday, at the end of the stream, it was a blue screen, but it wasn't a full blue screen. It was, everything stopped moving. I kept hearing the audio from the game for a while, but everything completely froze. Moving my mouse did nothing. There wasn't even a singular frame of change. Like my OBS, just everything was stuck in time immediately as soon as it stopped. And then on my middle monitor, I saw the oops screen come up, the blue oops screen, but it didn't, it was like low opacity. So I still saw the game. And then there was like a very bright, like light blue, low opacity overlay of the oops screen that started trying to appear. And then the whole thing just shut off. My computer just shut off and restarted. That was what happened yesterday. But I got through the sponsored segment and I said, all right, you know what? We could call it because I did an extra day this week. I think it's likely that since the game is in pre whatever, it's like there's like a beta coming up, whatever, and they're still fixing up stuff. Probably a memory leak is my guess. I genuinely think that that's what it is, and then it just kind of like built up enough and had a moment. Or not well optimized, but yeah. Does it help more to use the code more often with smaller orders or once with a big order? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for me. For anything that I'm a part of, it doesn't matter. You just use the code. I can tell you this much, at least for like for Cheeky, it is off of number of bars sold. So if you buy 3 separately, or you put 3 in a cart and use my code, it's the same. It applies 1 code to 1 bar each time you do it, right? It just like all works out. GamerSupps is kind of the same. It's off of number of products sold or number of dollars or, whatever. So it all kind of like scales with that. So you don't have to like do anything to gamify how you use the codes. Those standard with any codes. There are some companies that don't do it like that. None that I'm signed with. Or if it is different, it'll tell you. Like the Power GPU one gives you a flat number of dollars off of your order. So that translates to me kind of the same way, where it's just a one-to-one thing where it's like, yep, this was used once. And that's good. But the number of dollars is what affects me. So if you buy like a little product separately, it wouldn't change anything. You know what I mean? You don't have to like, there's no gamification. If you do an order and you slap the code on there, you did it, You forgot to put in the code last time you ordered on Cheeky? No! You can also do, when you get to the cart, the checkout page on any site, and it's giving you the breakdown, it will show you if there's a code applied. Usually it'll be like, with code this, with code that, or it'll have a space for it. So when you're about to check out, you can always just double check and see if, it applied or not. Yeah, Frost, me neither. That's why I'm not with any that do it. But there's some that do, which is a little weird. I've never signed with anyone that when I looked into their contract and they were like, yeah, this is how it works. I looked at the payment structure, whatever. Whenever it was like something gamifiable, I was like, what? Ugh. Yeah, some coupon add-ons. Oh, no, that's not what I'm talking about, but that is a separate thing where, yeah, anything that's gamified like that is almost always like a scam, so. I only take anything that does a proper one-to-one standard normal thing. But yeah. So just noting, yeah, if you use my code on GamerSupps or Cheeky or whatever, it does help me a lot. Genuinely. How many of you got the free run stuff? I'm getting it sent to me, so I didn't buy it separately or anything. Mine should be coming soon. Still working through your current soap fort. Yeah. Now that I use the soap in the shower, I feel like I go through it a bit more. The one that I have is my hand soap. I have a bar of just soap, right? No fragrance. And that's in my bathroom. Right next to me here. And when I wash my hands, I use that. That bar has taken fucking forever to go through. It lasts so long, which is so nice. The shower soap takes less time, obviously, because it's like, exposed to more water. You're using it for more than just your hands, whatever. So that works just fine. But the hand soap is like, dude, lasts forever. It's like 2 weeks of the shower. Yeah, last couple weeks. Which is not bad. I think mine lasts more like 3, but that's because I try to be extra frugal with how I use, extra sparing. But yeah. Sunday Scary Soap lasted 2 months and you've been using it generously? Yeah. Well, that one's a different formula than the others. Your wife's been buying Cheeky like crazy. Good. I went crazy during the holidays. I bought so much to give to family members. If anyone has a birthday or they're doing anything, I like to give people consumables because I feel bad if I'm kind of like contributing to them just having more crap in their house, So I try to buy people consumable stuff wherever possible. And yeah, I've been like really going insane on giving them soap because I think it's good. I mean, edible stuff you can only do just so much, and there's a lot that you can't give as a gift necessarily. Soap can always be used. You give them some nice little scents. People just like a little scented thing, right? Like, it's just cute. And it's a hefty bar, so it doesn't feel like you're giving them something little. It's like a nice size as well. So, I've been doing that. So you've only used Cheeky for hand soap now and you love it? Felt the difference instantly? Yeah. As opposed to like the other bars that are kind of drying. It's huge. There's a reason I took the sponsor and I said I want to work with you guys. And I was like first on their roster, man. Because I tested it and I was like, holy crap. It's interesting because I normally had pretty rough hands because of like just all the stuff I've done in my life with, hands, sport related things, work related things, everything, hobby related stuff. So my skin was always like pretty dry on my hands. I'd wash them a lot, whatever. And I've been using Cheeky and I'm extra smooth, especially in the backs of my hands. And there are scars on my hands that I like didn't even know I had because I couldn't see them because generally my hands just had a little more texture, but now I'm like ultra smooth and I could see some little spots with like little lines and I go, oh, I didn't even know I had a little scar there. It's interesting. And I could see, I have some scars from, you ever get injections in your hand at the hospital? If they have to put you under or they have to give you IV fluids, whatever. Sometimes they do the back of the hand. I can see those on my left hand, on the back of my hand. It's the hand IVs are the worst. But I can see those little like tiny spot scars. Normally you wouldn't notice like a little dot on the back of your hand, but I can see them because I'm like ultra smooth. It's interesting. I've got like a vertical line on the back of my right hand. Just goes like, if you just hold up your hand, look at the back of it, just a line going straight down, a white one. I have no idea where the fuck that came from. I have no idea what it's from, but it's there. I don't know. I don't know when I got that. It's not IV related because it's like a line, like it looks like I got scratched or cut. I don't know, man. No clue. No clue. And IVs are the worst. I know. I hate them. 0 out of 10. Do not recommend. If I'm ever back in the hospital and they start trying to do a hand IV, I'm going to be like, hey, if there's any way we could do this literally anywhere else, please, because that shit was terrible. I had one in the back of my left hand, just in the most obvious looking vein in the center, and then one kind of at like the base of my thumb going into my wrist. That shit, oh, no thanks, never again. Yeah, Ghost, you said I hated hand IVs until I got a wrist IV. Yeah, Yeah, no thanks. That one was awful. Yeah, Chris, a lot of the time they do it because it's the easiest to get to. It's the easiest to get to. And then especially a lot of people, especially depending on how much weight or muscle, tissue in general you have under your skin to get to everything, this one is easy because when they do an IV, they have to put a long needle through a lot of the vein. They have to really get in there, and it depends on what type of IV they're doing as well. And so it just makes more sense that they're able to really see more of it, you know? Yeah, exactly. Back of your hand is just right, like a thin layer of skin and a little layer of muscle. You don't really like get a lot of body fat there compared to other areas, So it's very easy to be able to tell, like, where you are, what you're doing. So, yeah. But never again. Oh, they had to ultrasound you because they couldn't find good veins in your arm? Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a little freaky when you watch them do stuff by ultrasound sometimes. It'd be tough. I didn't get bruised up too much though when I did all my stuff in the hospital. I had some bruising, but it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. I came out of that pretty good. Even if I had like, some spots, they use the same spot over and over sometimes. Oddly warm gel they do for ultrasounds. Warm? Mine was cold. Dude, every time I had to get an ultrasound for my issue, they they slap that jelly on you ice cold. Where I went, at least. It was pre-warm for you. I know, that's the thing. Some places do that, not mine. Not mine. Lady was like, sorry, it's gonna be a little cold. And I was like, yeah. And she took the applicator and went slap and slapped some gel down. And I was like, oh, it was icy. It was icy. And I had to get a lot of different ultrasounds multiple times. Oh man. Yeah, they put it in the freezer first just for me. It was cold. It was cold. The worst was for me. They were like, you have to come here with a full bladder for us to do the first ultrasound. And then you go to the bathroom and then we do a second ultrasound. Right? Because they were doing abdominal. So like, I got to pee so bad. I'm laying on my back, and they're doing the ultrasound. They slap cold gel on me, and I'm like, oh, it was just like everything was wrong. You know what I mean? Like every little thing that could be wrong, all the little things were just wrong. Gel cold, have to pee. It was just like, ugh, terrible, terrible. Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna piss my pants. Please no. And they tell you how much water you have to drink. And I was like, hey, I'm going to explode if I drink that much. And they were like, you can go under a little. You can go under a little. Especially like your body mass matters. So they'll tell someone who's 6'5" and 300 pounds to drink the same amount of water as someone who's 5 feet tall and, 2 pounds. They'll tell you to drink the same amount, So I was like, hey, I'm going to lower this a little bit. I gotta. They never scale it by mass. They never do. The only people that do that are anesthesiologists when applying stuff to you because they have to, so they don't kill you. Those are the only ones. The only ones. Yeah, nutritionists. We're not talking about nutritionists, but yeah, it makes sense. I don't know, man. It was crazy. It was crazy. They were like, you can't pee. You have to come here filled with water and you have to walk in here and lay down and get this cold gel slapped on you. And then the thing is when they ultrasound your abdomen, especially what they were looking at for me, They're trying to like look all around it. So they're pressing the ultrasound wand like hard into my body, right? They're like, we got to get above and below this thing, and we got to like push in and then tilt up, and then we got to go above it, push in and then tilt down, you know, because they have to get like every angle, and they're trying to see these like horizontal slices of it, you know. So so they were like pushing so hard, and I was like, hey, I have a cyst in me that my doctor said to like, I can't even bend because we can't have a rupture. And the lady's like, do not worry, I could tell with the tension, I will not do it. And I was like, okay. And I had to put the trust of God in this woman because she was just like, she was pushing so hard. Oh man. Second time she went easier because there was more tension at that point, right? But oh man, crazy. That was probably one of the most stressful moments of my life ever. Was getting ultrasounded by this woman that's pushing on you, you know? Ugh. Get the scan. Yeah, I got an MRI with contrast and without contrast. Yeah, so I did my MRI without first, right? And then they inject you with the fluid. You taste copper in your mouth and you feel, you know, interesting, and then they do the scan again. I'm going to be honest. I felt fine. It's a weird feeling, but I felt fine when they gave me the contrast. Like, it was like a little like, ooh. It's weird, but I'd much rather do that than a lot of other things again, you know? And a lot of people say that when they get the contrast, it's like, you know, an injection of fluid that dyes things. They say when they get the contrast fluid, they have like a really bad time with it. But for me, I don't know. I felt like it was okay. It felt bad, but not. It was like mild discomfort. You know. Felt like you were gonna piss. I didn't have that. I think that was the thing that I didn't have that other people do that makes it more uncomfortable for them. I didn't feel like I had to. So I think that for me made it all right. You get warm all over. I didn't have that either. I just like could feel it going through me. I could feel the pressure of my veins having like a lot more liquid in them during that time, right? Because that syringe, the amount that they give you of the contrast, they inject straight into you this thick, huge, looks like a damn soda can, right? Like it's like probably, I don't know how many milliliters, but it's a lot of liquid. So I could feel the pressure just of how much liquid was added to my blood, right? But I didn't get the burning very much. I didn't feel that much warmer. I didn't get the, oh my God, I have to pee feeling that a lot of people get. No tingling, nothing. So I don't know. Can't imagine feeling my veins. That's why I describe it as like weird more than uncomfortable. That was a very weird feeling. Very weird. But it was all right. I mean, it wasn't, I would do it again and be fine, probably. Assuming I had the same reaction. If I had a different reaction, you know, who knows? Might be terrible, but it was, at least when I had it, it was fine. It was all right. I don't know. You had to drink a contrast MRI after a 24-hour fast. Oh, yeah, I got the injectable one. Because we had to do it with and without. So we do without first, and then you get injected. If you just do an MRI with contrast, they usually make you drink it instead, so they don't have to do an injection. But thankfully, yeah. Oh, is that for CT? Yeah, I don't know. Well, mine was an MRI, so maybe that makes more sense that way. It's kind of like saline. You can feel the chill of it. Kinda, except it usually goes warm for people. The tingling, you know. To be the children's hospital, so you got a barium slushy. Cute. Yeah, no. I got, I didn't get anything nice like that. They were just like, now we're going to inject this. And the guy pulls out like a football with the needle sticking out of it. It's like, we got to get all this liquid in your veins. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. I guess I guess we'll do that, you know? And then he went in with that and was just like, yep, here we go. He was like, this may burn. This may make you feel like you have to use the bathroom. You can't move, though. Blah, blah, blah. Like, he gave me the rundown, and then it was just kind of fine. It was just kind of fine. Abdominal MRI needs drinkable to show the intestines. Well, I didn't do drinkable, and mine was an abdominal. Well, actually, it was an MRI of like almost my whole body, but you know, but it was like clavicle all the way down to like my knees, pretty much. It was like the whole damn thing. It was everything but my head and my feet, you know? It was a lot. It was a lot. But it was nice because I just had to lay there. I just had to lay there, head on a pillow, you know, just you go into the tube. I was not claustrophobic in the tube. It was fine. So I was chilling. I was chilling. So I just hung out. There were a couple times though that I like stretched my toes, thinking like it won't affect it. And he went, "You stretch your toes," and I was like, "How?"
Do you imagine finding out you're allergic to contrast dye they injected into your bloodstream after sitting in a CT scan for 10 minutes? Couldn't be me. Faction revealed.
Yikes, dude. Yikes. You've fallen asleep in MRIs? Yeah. Well, they're super loud and like the vibrations could wake you up. I wasn't able to fall asleep, but I was pretty relaxed. I was chilling. So I was all right. But yeah, when I came out of the first one, and then he was like, "All right, we got to do the contrast injection, and then we'll put you in again." Bro was like, "You were moving your toes, weren't you?" I was like, "Well, we're not doing like a foot scan." He's like, "Yeah, I know, but I could see the leg move." I was like, "Oh my god, oh my god, they know." They had headphones for me, and he was like, "I'll just hand you the aux cord. You can plug it into your phone, put in whatever you like, and you know, we'll just. I've got a Bluetooth thing here because I couldn't have like my device on me, obviously, so it was like in the other room, and it was just easy, man. It was just easy. It was so easy. Only at MRIs for spine stuff and all that. What's this contrasting? Is it specifically for the bladder? Or they use it for other stuff. It's any organ related thing. So the contrast is a type of dye that will only get absorbed in certain amounts by certain types of tissue. So that is what they usually do. It's like they inject the dye and then certain things get sort of lit up on the MRI when they take it, because you can see that dye and you can see the concentrations that it's in. So you can tell how much was absorbed by a cell, which then lets you know what cell type it is a little bit more easily. It gives you a lot of insight into the density of it, etc. So that is what we did. That is what we did. You can have headphones in MRI, they're non-metal. They had I don't know what they had, but they had a type that was okay, because they weren't first of all, they weren't putting my head in the machine. Not that it is unaffected, but they weren't putting my head in the machine. But I think it was, yeah, it was non-ferrous is the word. That's the word. Diamagnetic. It was certain metals that are okay. So that's what we had. That's what we had. So it was nice. Yeah, Chris, that's exactly how it works. But yeah, they did my scans and everything. It was cool because you never get to see in your body, right? You never get to see in your body. Nothing. So getting an MRI is very enlightening. I got to see how unevenness in my bones. I got to see unevenness in my bones, so I got to see like just certain things like things don't grow exactly symmetrically, right? So I got to see some stuff like that. It was cool. Or especially if I've had old injuries, I got to see what that looks like nowadays, right? Like I've had some ribs and things be fractured or broken or whatever. Being able to see like a little spot where there's like a little line or something, you know what I mean? It's cool. It's cool. An MRI lady said you have a very attractive brain, very symmetrical. Very symmetrical, very nice. Yeah. It's you know, you get some weird medical comments when like something is nice or easy to see or whatever, but it means nothing to you because you're not a medical professional. So there were like the lady who was writing on my report. There was a nurse that was writing on my report during the surgery, and she kept checking in on how good my hemostasis was. And she's like, hemostasis, excellent, stellar, beautiful hemostasis. And she just kept writing it. And I was like, thanks, dude. But it makes sense because anytime I've gotten a cut, a scratch, or whatever, I heal that very quickly. I scab very quickly. And those sorts of things heal very quickly. I got that Wolverine juice in me. So it's like, makes sense, right?
She was the only one who showed her nudes on stream. It was an X-ray of her knee.
I showed something. What did I show? I think I showed part of the ultrasound of it. I showed the tumor itself, not the whole, or not an X-ray, sorry, the ultrasound. I showed a part of that. Yeah, a little ultrasound of the tumor. Yeah, it looked like an evil pumpkin. Yep. Because I think I showed you I showed you the top-down view, like if I looked down. Because it was like a pancake, you know? Yeah. It was interesting. It was interesting. And then I think I showed that, and then you could see that it was black all around it, which was just all fluid. I was like, guys, you know, black on an ultrasound means liquid. So there was like no tissue around it. You could see how there was just, it was in an empty space, which was not actually empty. It was like fluid, but yeah. It's cool to see, though. It's cool to be able to like look at that stuff in your own body. You don't really get to. You almost never do until something goes wrong, right? Yeah, you're full of blood, ma'am. Yeah. Literally. But it was cool. I liked seeing it. And I think I'm gonna be doing like regular scans occasionally now. I'm excited to see one where I'm like not compromised at all, you know? I'm excited to see one where I'm not filled with blood. Nor am I in the healing process and things are still all like unsettled, you know? It'll be cool. Actually, I really want to see what it looks like now that, you know, I have an organ removed. Like, what does it look like? You know? Because I know they took my entire tube and a small portion of the organ that it's attached to, right? Like a little portion of the top of the uterus. I know they had to take some of that out. So I wonder if it has like a little gnarly shape or something, or maybe it looks totally normal, because they did say a lot of the tissue tends to sort of grow back in a way. No, I couldn't keep it. They were testing for cancer, so they had to cube like every millimeter of it and then make a slide out of each of those to test the cell types and stuff and look for what types of cells were present to do all the staging and analysis and whatever. So it is fully cubed. Might as well have thrown it in a blender kind of thing, you know? So I didn't get to keep it. I wish I could have. If they knew for a fact that it was benign, they could have done that. But we had to make sure, you know, it was or was not, or you know, where are these things present, how many of these types of cells are here, what proteins are these ones expressing, blah, 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 right? They do all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Yeah. I do kind of want, the slides, though, or images of them. I think it'd be cool. A lot of amazing medical news coming out of the scientific community lately. Yeah, I'm always skeptical about medical news because we've heard things like this many times before, and so I will not celebrate until, not to say that I actually think these things are not true, but I just won't celebrate until things get past trial and are now being tested in humans and those trials go well. Like that's when I will be like, yay, you know. Research is always great, though. No matter what, research is always great. But everything has been announced as potential cure, potential cure, potential cure for forever. And as someone who's been through it and knows what trials were actually ongoing, because they did give me options of like, here's what's happening, whatever, there wasn't much option for me. Genuinely. Like there was not. There weren't even like where they're like, oh, a trial for this thing that's full that you can't get into, but we'll tell you about it. There just wasn't really much going on that was actually at a point where they could like test it on people, you know? So, and even then, a lot of it wasn't even past, the rat stage even, or the cellular stage. So, something could work on a rat because you're able to pump it full of whatever medication. Doesn't mean that that's okay to do to, a person. It might be something that has like really, really bad effects and pretty much kills the person, You gotta slowly work up. So, we'll see. But I hope, regardless, I hope it's all good. I hope it all becomes something because, yeah. I'm just assuming like, we'll all get got by something like that someday. I know the number one killer is what? Heart disease and traffic accidents are actually pretty high up there, which sucks for like how many people they take. Diabetes, things like that. But, outside of that, cancer is like one of the big ones. And it usually gets categorized separately depending on what type it is. But if you just kind of take all the cancer types, taking people out, and then round them up, put them into one number, it's a lot. So it'd be nice. It'd be nice. And I hope this shit works out. But it's definitely tough. It's definitely tough to get to that point. It takes a very long time. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's a bad diet and weight in the U.S. It's terrible. It's terrible. I hate the state that things are in with people's health, genuinely. And I'm all for people loving themselves as well. So it's like tough because, you have a friend who's unhealthy. Me personally, I want to tell them you're unhealthy and you need to do something, right? But then there's the emotional component. Outside of just you being concerned for their health and maybe them being concerned for their health of just like their own self-image and everything. So it's not a topic you can necessarily broach with a lot of your friends, even if you're very close. Or they'll be like, I know. And then they know, right? Because who doesn't know? Who doesn't know? Right? Very few people don't know that they're in a bad situation or that it's not good for them. So, because everyone tells you, everyone, your doctor, everyone tells you it's unhealthy. So, I feel like it's kind of out of my hands. So it's not really something I can help a lot of friends with. And the thing you can help people with is usually something that takes a lot of personal time, right? Like usually someone needs an accountability buddy to eat better and to exercise more. So what? You can help one person if you make them your accountability buddy and that you help them push through, which is like not always a high chance. It's like, it's super ineffective. It's not efficient, right? So at this point, I'm just like, I can't help people. I can just tell friends, yo, I'm worried for you. I can't help you, though. I could just tell you that I wish you would do what's right for you, health-wise. And that's it. That's like the most you can say. And even that feels like, why even say it? Like, surely they know. But sometimes they don't. I have had friends where I've like talked to them, discussed with them certain things, and just basically broached it as like, I'm asking you if you want me to help you be accountable at all or no. Because there are some friends who they would say, you know what? If we are out, I will not feel bad if you see me like thinking about ordering something and you suggest something else. I'm giving you the permission to like do that to remind me. Because in the moment, I just order whatever, right? Like, depends on the person's issue on what's with them. Or if they're ordering too much and I'm just sitting there going, I think you should just get this one thing. right? If you do that unprompted, you're a fucking asshole, right? If you do that unprompted to somebody, weird. But if you talk to your friend first about how you're worried about them and then say, do you want me to do something like that or no? Some people might say yes. I've had friends say yes to that sort of thing. But like, you know what? Yes, because you don't say it like in a crazy way, right? You know what I mean? So there is that. But I feel like that's kind of the most you can do a lot of the time. I don't know. It's tough. Yeah, going up to a stranger being like, don't you think that's a little too much for one person? Like, that would be insane if you did that to somebody. Absolutely insane. You could never. And to your own friend who, like, you've not broached the subject of this stuff with before, like, you know what I mean? That's crazy. You just can't do that. You can't, man. You don't know how they feel, why they are the way they are. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know if you don't talk to them. I don't know. Neighbor did that to you? He's your nemesis? That's fucked. Maybe if you hate somebody, you could do it to them, you know? Because you want to be a hating ass bitch or something. But otherwise, you know, not really the best. Not really the best. You got family members who say, oh, you're eating all that? Wow. Yeah, I think for family, I give family a pass to be extra judgmental on each other and to push each other. Because the intent, 9 times out of 10, not always, 9 times out of 10 is to help that person better themselves. And I know it like sucks to hear certain things from them, but if it's not worded too crazily and it's just generally them calling a thing out in the moment, I think getting called out in the moment is more effective for people than anything, right? I could have all the talks with a friend in the world about how I wish they took better care of themselves. But unless I'm literally telling them while they're about to eat something or like while they're saying, maybe I won't go to the gym and I go, you gotta go or something like that. Like people don't really correct their behavior unless it's like in the moment they feel some sort of push, right? Yeah, same thing with pets. So that's why it's helpful, it's effective, but it's also a topic you gotta like get permission to be like that about beforehand, you know? I don't know, man. It's tough. Double burger, really? That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know. Like one of my closest friends for a long time, she couldn't control it because she had a major thyroid issue. So she was one of those people that she could diet as much as she wanted. It did not matter. Her body retained whatever it could. And it just would not allow her to shed weight because she had a major, major thyroid problem. And she was working on doing what she could, trying to medicate, you know, etc., to like help it out. But it was at a point where like, you know, you kind of can't do something past a certain point. And with her, like, I would never comment on it, never ever, because I'm like, this is nothing. If anything, I would encourage her to like eat a little more sometimes, because I would be like, you know, I know your body retains a lot of this, but you need like normal energy too, right? Like, don't think about that. Just count the number of what you're taking in and just go with that. You know, don't think about what you look like at all, and just make sure you're good. Do thyroid issues work both ways? Yes. Yeah, it just depends on what your issue is. So with hers, she would retain so much weight, and it was like, it, again, did not matter what she did. She was eventually able to control it when they found the right kind of mix of medications and habits and things, but it took so many years for her to do that. It was insane. Absolutely insane. Ooh, you said you went to the doctor last week and have lost 78 pounds since September. Huge. Okay. That's a lot, especially in that time frame. That's a really good pace. Very nice. Very nice. I don't know. I think a lot of it usually just boils down to how you're taught or what you're used to, right? Everyone's got their body react in the way it does to what they take in. Everyone's a little different. And you just have to experiment. You just have to think. I think, you know, in America especially, we're just not taught to be mindful, right? To be mindful of this stuff and to be eating and thinking about what we're eating while we're doing it. People just get whatever when they get it. Right? That's it. That's it. It's just like I don't want to call it a laziness thing. It's a not being mindful thing in most cases. So if you have to like want it though. It's one of those things where to become mindful about something, to change a habit, right? Like maybe it's an eating habit, maybe it's exercise, whatever it is. You have to think about it. And to get yourself to think about something, you have to like it or be into the idea of it, right? So that's why I think this age is the best time for this stuff, because you can watch YouTubers and influencers and take in content of the thing that you want to be more like. So if you watch like fitness influencers, because you can't get yourself into fitness, and you just keep going until you find one that you enjoy watching, and then eventually that can sort of kickstart you a little. Like it's possible to find that nowadays. So I think that's huge. That makes it a lot easier to do stuff compared to how it used to be. Yeah, you can sort of immerse yourself. Exactly. You could choose to immerse yourself with something. Maybe you watch a lot of the Olympics clips. Maybe you watch a lot of sport related stuff. You know what I mean? Like just kind of like you can fill your time with it. That's the best way to like change it up, you know? Big issue in America is a lot of meals are calorically dense and cheap while not super nutritious. Yeah, but what are we talking about? Are we talking about food that we make at home? Because there's so much choice. Even if you're lower income, there's still so much choice. What are people eating is my question. If you're going out to eat, depending on where you live, there's not really a lot of option. But if you're at home, brother, you gotta learn to cook differently, you know? Too much candy's made with corn syrup nowadays. Why the fuck are you eating candy is the question, you know? Is American food really that bad? I'm European, by the way. You know what's really that bad? Stuff in the snack aisle. Stuff in the snack aisle and like some pre-prepared meals and things. All the stuff you shouldn't be looking at anyway if you're trying to get healthier. Genuinely. I understand it's convenient, but you can change what you do and what you make and how you do it to keep it convenient. Pan, sheet meals, and rice cooker. Exactly, dude. Dude, you can make a tiny portion of rice in a rice cooker. Okay, not too much, just whatever you need. And then you can just buy meat. Okay, like pretty much any cut works. Buy some meat, slice it, heat up some broth, and have hot pot. Done. Done. You throw some vegetables in it. You throw some meat in the broth and you eat it. Like it's the easiest shit in the world, right? It's so you can just pan sear all that stuff too. Very quickly pan sear it and you're fine. You can pan sear pretty much almost anything. You just have to change up what you know about cooking. I think that's really it. That's really it. You said, our foods are also crap quality even from the store. Most bread in the U.S. could not be legally sold as bread in Europe. It's like not always that bad, though. There are a lot of brands that are good now. Here's what I think. You can sit there and blame the quality of things all you want. But at the end of the day, you should be in the produce section as much as you can. Buying frozen vegetables, right? Don't buy anything that's like pre-anything. You should be buying as much produce as you can, just packages of meat. Yeah, don't buy a soup in a can if you can avoid it. Make your own. It's super easy, crazy easy. And there's so many YouTube channels nowadays that show you incredibly easy recipes, like insanely easy, that there's no excuse to not learn this stuff. Soup in a can is unavoidable. No, it's not. It's very avoidable. That's the thing. You buy nothing but prepackaged things, lamau. That's the thing, right? A lot of people are in that habit. You just have to get out of that habit. That's it. You really just gotta get out of that. You want the greatest tomato bisque ever? You get tomatoes. You cut them apart a little bit and you put them on a pan. And then you cut up an onion and you throw it on the same pan. Spread it out on a sheet pan. You chop up some garlic. Could do whole cloves, throw it on the same sheet pan, and then you bake it. You just roast it in the oven or under the broiler for a bit until it's cooked but not burnt. Then you take it out and blend it. You have a tomato soup, and it's really good. Done. Most soups are like that, where you can just cook some shit on a pan and then blend it and add cream or water or nothing, depending on what it is. And then you freeze it, and now you have tons of it for like forever. It's a lot of this stuff is so easy. But you know what I think the biggest issue is? I'm going to be honest. Anyone that I've been close friends with or family members that have had weight issues, I've noticed that for most of them, not all of them, for most of them, a lot of the time, it's not so much what they're eating. What they're eating is still important to change up, but how much is the issue. Their portion control isn't there. I think you could eat a lot of the stuff in American food aisles that's crap and be okay if you control the portions better. But I think it's so easy. Just like how you get used to food being saltier or more sweet, over time, the volume you can also get very used to. And I think a lot of people just don't realize the volume that they're eating is the problem.
Share recipes
right?
in the Discord if you need ideas.
We do. I think that's the biggest issue because, like, for example, let's use McDonald's as an example because it's so universal. If you go to McDonald's and you're an average-sized person, like height-wise, you should go to McDonald's and be able to order one meal and not want to order more than that.
Hey, just wanted to say, your balls look great.
Thank you. I made them myself. You should be able to go to McDonald's, order one normal meal of like one burger, some fries, and a drink. The drink is honestly like the biggest issue with the calories there. But you should be able to order that burger and those fries in like a large if you're bigger, a medium if you're a normal height person, and be okay with that. And if you're like, oh my God, I need like 3 more things, I need 2 more things, you don't. You really don't. And I think if you can just learn what those portions are properly for the foods that you really like to eat and follow them, you wouldn't have to really change too much of what you're eating. Right? And I think the problem is a lot of marketing for products tells you like that what you're eating is the problem, which again, it can be for certain people. But it's really simple. Calories in, calories out is what has you gaining or losing weight more than anything else. So if you just took in a little less or you burned a little more, past a certain threshold, you would be losing. That's literally it. So I think for a lot of people, it's set up in their heads as this crazy, daunting thing. But I think you should start with, don't change your habits of what you're eating. Just cut down the amount a little bit first and see how much that changes. Because I think trying to change your day, trying to learn cooking, trying to change what you're buying and what you're used to, all of this is so daunting and you're going to stress yourself out doing that. I think it's still worth it learning eventually, but you should do that slowly, right? You should just do that slowly. Instead, you look at what you're eating and figure out like how much of this am I supposed to have per day if I'm eating like this, right? Use calculators, use whatever it is, or just look at what you do eat and just cut down a little and just see what happens, right? I think that would have like the biggest effect for a lot of people, but we're not taught to do that because everyone's trying to sell you products. Everyone's trying to be like, oh, eat this. It's a healthier version. If you buy these little cookies that are super low calorie, but then you eat a ton of them because they're so good, you're still going to take in a lot of calories because you ate so many, right? You could eat all the Oreos you want. Just don't eat the whole sleeve, right? Eat like a small amount. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think it's corporations genuinely trying to sell you on their shit and making it worse for you because they're trying to tell you that what it is the problem and not just how much. You know what I mean? I think they're tricking you and making it worse for you and they don't care about you. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like some people said, first thing you cut are sugary drinks. You don't need to change a damn thing other than that. Just anything that's using like, real sugars, not fake sugars, etc. Anything that might make you gain weight potentially in drink form, cut that first before anything, or swap out if you have like, you know, a creamer that has a lot of sugar in it, maybe swap that for something that doesn't, you know, whatever it is. That's the first thing. And so many people see a pretty big difference just from that, because it's just the volume of calories from what they're drinking, right? Again, it's just like calories in, calories out. That's it. You know? Yeah, don't drink your calories. It's not worth it. It's so dense with calories that it just undoes any progress you might be making, you know? Like, it undoes any other good you might be doing with your diet. Cut soda and you lost 15 pounds in a couple months? Yeah. Would something like Gamer Subs be a good alternative? Genuinely curious. Yes. Part of the reason why I'm a proponent of those kinds of things is because a lot of people just can't get themselves to drink only water. They want something flavored, whatever it is, right? That's what they're used to. And so what you should do is try to replace what you're used to with something else that is still good. And with Gamer Subs, yeah, they don't put actual sugar in there. A lot of their drinks are 0 or incredibly low calorie, no sugar, etc. So genuinely, yes, you can use that and try to use that to replace the stuff that you're drinking that's like bad, you know? Bad. So, oh, alcohol is another one, yeah. So do you have a coworker who cut alcohol and lost 80 fucking pounds over the past year? Yes. Because a lot of fermented stuff, especially, is so high calorie. It's crazy. Gamer Subs helped you go from 4 sodas a day to none. Let's go. That's what I'm saying. I think if you just start with what you're drinking first, you'll cut down that number of what you're taking in, the number of calories, so much. Gamer Subs and sparkling water is your full soda replacement. Ooh, putting in sparkling water is a good idea. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, do be careful with the energy variant. Yeah. Mix it with, they make ones that are just hydrating. So you don't have to be taking in a lot of caffeine. Because I think if you have some per day, you have an okay amount of caffeine, right? It's not too bad. But if you're using it to replace soda and you drink a lot of soda and then you start to drink a lot of Gamer Subs, you might end up with a lot of caffeine in you. So yeah, just go for the hydrating ones as well. Make sure you have both so you don't like overdo it, you know? Yeah, especially late in the day. You might end up with a heart issue if you do too much. Be careful with that. I like the hydrating ones. I don't really drink too many of the caffeinated ones. If I do, it's only in the morning a little bit, and then that's it. You know? Replace normal soda with diet soda, but it's important to make it a treat instead of a regular thing. Yes. Sparkling water weans off soda. I think you go non-carbonated. So something that is also very sugary is stuff like apple juice, right? Fruit juices can also be very sugary. But there are brands that have less sugar than others. They don't have added sugar. It is just, you know, the fruit. And you can get ones that, especially with like apple juice, right? You can get ones that taste a little more tart. They're a little less sweet. Maybe it's a variety of apple that has less sugar. You can wean yourself off by drinking like, so some people, the carbonation is part of the craving. So if you stay with like a super sugary fruit juice, that's like, you know, probably almost as bad as a soda, but it's non-carbonated. You can use that to wean yourself off of carbonated stuff because it will hit some of the same, you know, and then from there you wean further. Then you take down like, yeah, less acidity, less whatever, and you just keep going. And eventually you can get yourself to water. Like you can. Me personally, though, what I'll say is I think you should just cold turkey. It's all so bad. And I think the best thing you could do with your life is just don't even have that shit in the house. Just stop buying it. So when you're home and there's nothing to drink but water, you're gonna drink water. And then you got what? Powdered Gamer Subs that goes in water. You want flavor? Okay, here's a thing with no sugar. It's not acidic. There you go. That's it. All you get, you know? Yeah, you do water and coffee. Yeah. I do tea. I'm a big, big, big tea drinker, not coffee, because I like the smell of coffee. I don't like the flavor. I don't like bitter things. But I love tea. So I have a lot of different little tea varieties, and that's it. That's it, man. Yeah, I'm team tea as well. I am. Because I don't really like super acidic drinks either, which coffee kind of is. Sodas are, even if you have ones that are low sugar or no sugar, that's cool, but the acidity is still an issue. And that can cause long-term issues for you. I think you just go water, tea, and that's it. You know? Anything you can dissolve in the water, not so bad, not so bad. Usually lacks that acidity. So, you have leaves? Yeah. Yeah, I have a lot of loose leaf. I have some that are tea bags, but I was trying to get off of tea bags for the most part, so now I'm all loose leaf. For like 90% of it. I'm just using up stuff. You're sensitive to stims, so you drink water? Mm-hmm. Me too. Caffeine actually hits me really hard. I can't with stimulants, so I love Gamer Subs to death. But I will have lower amounts. I will have lower amounts. I'll have their normal flavors. There's some that I really like, so what I do is I have to just put them in more water so it's less concentrated. And then just have a smaller amount of it. And that's how I'll do mine. So I'll usually drink the hydrating formulas instead. And those are pretty good. Those are pretty nice. Any suggestions? Let me see what they got right now, because some of the stuff that I liked was limited. There's one that's just called Good that I like. It's one with the eyeballs on it. I like Good. Let me see. Damn, one of their new collections already sold out. Jesus. They just told me about that one too. Let me see. Oh! Queso's mom. I was gonna get this one. I haven't gotten it yet. Has anyone tried it? It's Mama Case's peach tea. And it's caffeine free. It's the hydration formula only. Have you guys tried that? It's on my list of stuff for them to send to me so I could try it. Because I really, really, really want that one. I really want that one. Smitty's flavor, Good, has the highest ratings from what I've seen. Yeah. No, it's really good. It's really, really nice. Yeah, that one though, her peach tea, I want to try that. Let me see. Oh, cherry limesicle. Ooh, that one. Caffeine-free cherry limesicle is so good. That and lean. I don't know, they have so many, and I haven't tried all of them. I also like Just Melon and Sour Apple. Oh, Alma's comes in a caffeine-free version. Blue Screen Babe. I want to try this one too. I haven't gotten it yet. There are a few that I want that are in they're in a little shipment for me. That one sounds good. It's black cherry and lemon tea. Dude. You mix lean with vodka? Bad night. Yeah, I would fucking think, man. I would think. I don't know. Some of this looks really good. I need to have them send me more stuff. There were some that I liked, but they were limited editions, so I can't recommend those. They're gone. I have Vienna's cranberry apple flavor to get here. She did cran apple. Oh, sounds good. Sounds good, man. Ooh. Fifi's is cherry and vanilla. A lot of people doing cherry. I think it's because cherry flavor can come across really well. So one of the hard things with like making a flavor with something that comes powdered is that getting it to taste right can be difficult for certain types of flavors. So cherry comes out really well. Peach as well. I know a lot of people have done like peach tea style things. That can come across really well in like a powdered form. But there are some flavors that you can try to do, but no matter what, it's like hard to get them to work, you know? So that could be really tough to like hit that on the nose to get that right. You hate cherry? I really like cherry. It's like my favorite. Anytime I was younger and we were looking at flavors of things, I would always be like, I want the cherry flavored one. I always avoided anything that was blue. Any of the blue flavors I didn't want, and I wanted anything that was red. Tussin ruined that. Robitussin doesn't taste like cherry at all to me. It just tastes like the tussin separately, you know? People either hate cherry or grape. I don't like grape flavored stuff. I love eating real grapes. I don't like the flavoring. Yeah. Not part of that team. I don't like anything that's like blue or purple artificially flavored, right? If you ever see a juice that's just generically blue and they're like, here you go, I probably don't like it. But that if it's generally red, I probably like it. You know, as far as like American flavoring goes. So I don't know. Blue Gatorade. Blue Gatorade's okay. It's okay. It's all right. No. Baja Blast. Baja Blast is okay because it comes across as mostly citrus. You know? Where does pomegranate fall? Pomegranate's very red. What do you mean? Have you seen pomegranate? It's like reddish pinkish. It's nowhere near the blue side of the spectrum. It's the only flavor of Mountain Dew you actually like? I actually like standard Mountain Dew. I really like it a lot. It's just that the caffeine is so strong. So I can take a few sips and then go like, that was great anyway, and then I have to put it down. I just can't. Yeah, I like Code Red as well. Crazy amount of sugar in it. It's delicious. The way I feel is like you should just get used to drinking like water or whatever sugar-free thing it is that you like. And then occasionally just have the full sugar one. You know? Like instead of having a little bit of that every day, go full no sugar for your standard drinks and then occasionally let yourself just have that one crazy one. You know what I'm saying? So is it only on special occasions for you or when you go out? Yeah, growing up I never had stuff like that at home. We never did. The thought process was water is free. Not free, but you know what I mean. Water's practically free. Filter it from the tap. Why are you drinking anything else? Why would we buy stuff to drink? And occasionally there would be some juices and things. Some teas maybe. But overall it was just, you know, water was the option, you know? So that's really all I was on. And then if I had something that was sugary, it was because I went out, which I never did. You know, it's like those really rare occasions. We didn't eat out of restaurants really either, because that was, you know, expensive for no reason, because there's food at home, that kind of attitude. So I would just, if we went out to eat for any occasion, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm gonna order a Coke, you know? Like it was like a big deal. It was a big deal. Or yeah, we had milk. Oh man. Can't stand spaghetti from eating way too much of it when you were poor. The thing is, I was broke and ate so much spaghetti and I didn't care. I still love it. I still love it. But now I can do fancy stuff with it. I can do fun stuff with it. Because I can afford produce. So that's cool. Kind of. I don't know. Nowadays it's kind of... produce right now is stupid. Stupid expensive. All food is stupid expensive. The other day, I bought a towel. I bought a new towel. It was under $10. Bought a new towel, and I was holding it in my hand. I was looking at the price of it. And I was thinking about this food item that I like that's on a menu for this one place that I like that I get all the time. And it was the same cost as that towel. Just one of these like little things was the same cost as the towel. And I was like, fuck, man, I hate I hate food prices. Ooh, you know, I started like raging out in the store. I was like, ah. As I was holding this towel, looking at the price, I was like, there's no way these two things are the same price. Lose my mind. Lose my mind, dude. Ugh. Anyway, it's rice, it's pasta, it's produce, it's meats, it's all the basics for me. It's all the basics for me. All the pre-made stuff is so crazy expensive. Even produce is expensive, but you know, you just buy what's on sale and figure out what you can make out of it. And there you go. There you go. That's it. You buy in bulk. Yeah, it's a little hard because where I am, we don't really have, we don't have like wholesaler buy in bulk kind of things like that because everyone lives in like tiny little whatevers. So the options for buying in bulk are fewer, though I do still have people that like go hunting, right? And they'll come home with a bunch of shit and then piece it out to people and be like, oh, I got a deer, you want some of this, you know, whatever. I know one person who got like a wild turkey and they were like, yeah, you know, I'm trying to give away half of the turkey. And I was like, I'll take half the turkey, you know? And we just like split it. I pay them. That kind of stuff. So that's been good. That's been very good. You go to Costco? I don't even know. I've never thought of going to one. I think there is... Well, it depends on where you are. Let me see. Yeah, there really aren't many in the city. You gotta go to them. You gotta go to them. We might have some other stores though. There's some stuff. BJ's Wholesale Club, you know, etc. They exist. It's just like the pricing of other stuff. So the pricing here in general, because it's hard to have huge warehouse shaped stores and things, there's just not enough space. Because of that, a lot of the pricing of food when not in bulk is still kind of normal. It's not too bad here. It's a little easier to buy in smaller amounts and not like waste a ton of money. So it's not the worst. It's not the worst. Like buying in bulk here doesn't really change that much, you know? NYC is generally anti-big box. Yeah, a lot of the best prices in New York City are going to be people literally like selling on the street in a fruit stand, you know, like little private small business supermarkets and marketplaces. Those are the ones that tend to have the good prices. So it's a very different beast. It's a very different beast. It is kind of awesome, but you have to look because those places, their prices fluctuate so often. Because it is maybe a family-owned supermarket, right? And it's a small one. Whatever price they are offered by whoever they're buying from will affect the price that they sell it at, and things are wildly changing. So part of me having to learn how to cook a lot of different things is because I would buy whatever was not expensive that week, and then I'd have to figure out how to use it if it was something I was less familiar with or didn't know what to do with, you know? So it's different. It's different in the city. It's more cost effective to go to these small markets and just buy up whatever's cheaper that week than it is to go to like a Costco or something like that and buy in bulk. And you also get more food variety, which is what I like. So, yeah. That stuff happens. There are some butchers as well you can go to that are actually not crazy expensive. But from what I understand, if you go out in the suburbs, the butchers are really expensive. It's like a luxury thing. But with a lot of butchers in the city, if you go to them and then you promise to buy a certain amount of an animal that they get in or whatever, it can actually like be really cost effective. So it's just, I don't know, it's just different. It's just different in a place like New York City, I think. I feel like we operate on different juice because sometimes I'll talk about a thing, how something's priced or how it is to get a thing or how I live, whatever. And someone in chat will be like, isn't that expensive? And I'm like, what? You know? But then I have to remember, like, we're kind of in a different world, you know, in the city in some ways, because things just operate a little differently. All of NYC is expensive in general, yes, but you know, what's a box of pasta cost? A 1 pound box of dried pasta cost near you? Let me ask that. What does that cost? Not on sale. What is the base price for a singular 1 pound box of pasta? Any shape. Yeah, someone said $3-4, like $2, like $2. If I see that shit over $1, I don't buy it. Do you see that? Do you see how different the pricing is? It's like half or less than half for me. That shit should be under $1, not even on sale. But that's how that's priced here. And that's not even bad quality stuff. That's normal stuff that you would also be able to find in a suburb. But that's because you go to a small market that bought up a pallet of it wholesale. You know, and they're selling it at whatever their standard margin is. And so it is what it is. So you see how things regionally are priced so different. Yeah, you said 98 cents here. Right. It should be like that or less. If it's on sale, maybe even down to like 59, 69. But genuinely, right? That's what it should be. And I'm not talking about shit random ass brands that make garbage. I'm talking about normal brands. So, yeah, if you know where to go, then you can actually get a lot of stuff at an okay price. You can. So, you know, I'm not going to go to Costco because I can go to this one little market and they'll be like, we just got in a whole bunch of boxes of Rotelli and it's 79 cents. And I'll be like, all right. And I go buy up a bunch of them. You know what I mean? Know what I'm saying? That just depends. Same thing with produce people. I know this one little spot where I can get short ribs like really cheap. Like they didn't realize that short ribs are trendy yet. So I can go get short ribs. And I love making short ribs. It's my most favorite cut, man. So I go there and I just buy it up. I just put my arm down on the counter and I scoop it all in, you know, and I just buy it up. They are expensive now. They used to be so cheap. They used to be cheap. People thought short ribs were bad. And they used to be cheap. And then, I don't know what happened. People realized, like, I think people started learning how to use slow cookers. I think that's what it is. So I don't know, man. Yeah, the chicken thighs got more expensive too. And I only eat dark meat chicken. I don't like chicken breast and stuff. I don't like that. It's not as good. So I'm freaking out a little bit. I'm freaking out a little bit that people realize that chicken thighs are good. I do get the quarters though. Yeah, I get the quarter leg unseparated because taking a knife to the drumstick and going and separating it from the thighs, like it literally a 2-second endeavor. So, and even then you don't even need to separate it. You can just eat that shit like that, you know? So I don't even buy them as thighs anymore. I just buy them as leg quarters. And them not separating the leg quarters is what keeps the price down. It's stupid. So stupid. So dumb. Happen to skirt steak as well. Yep, I used to make skirt steak all the time. It was like this one cut that I know it tasted good and I could reliably buy. And I would get it all the time. One of my neighbors, Colombian woman, she would buy up so much skirt steak every week. And she'd always give me some, and then I would buy like other produce and give her some, right? Because we'd give each other basically the same dollar amount of different things, right? And she'd always hand me some. And I remember one day she came to me and she was like, they found out. I was like, what do you mean? She was like, people started eating skirt steak and the price is going up. I was like, fuck. And they've never gone down. Never gone down, man. So pissed. So pissed. Me and my neighbor crashing out. I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean they discovered skirt steak? First it was skirt steak, then it was short ribs. Now it's chicken thighs. Everything that's good, people are finding out. Anyway, I hate pork chops. So dry, so bland. Terrible. Awful. Can't do nothing with them. I buy them and eat them because I love pain. But I wouldn't recommend them to anyone. Don't buy them. Yep, hate oxtail. Hate it. So bad. No potential. No potential. Don't buy oxtail, guys. So bad. Bad for your heart. Yep. Yep. Same with pork chops. Bad for your heart. Hate them. Chat, some of the stuff you're typing is so fucking stupid. Oh my god. Oh my god. There's no way. There's no way.
First time I went to a discount grocery store, it was like going to Disneyland. So much good food and such good prices. Geega Pian.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I go to the meat section and I figure out what has to be sold today because it's about to go bad, and I buy it. I buy it and I'm like, I'm just gonna cook the shit out of this. I had to live like that for so many years. And I learned to cook everything because I just bought whatever was like, you know, manager's special, right? No, I'd come home with some cut and I'd be like, I don't know what to do with this. Now I have to look it up and figure it out. You know? You just gotta. Dale bagels are awesome. Dude, people don't know about the secret bagel resurrection technique. You go to a deli at the end of the day. Well, you guys don't. Well, maybe you do have those. A bagel shop deli thing is what I'm talking about that we have in the city. Go to a place at the end of the day and you buy up, you know, whatever they got at the end. Stuff that they're like, they want to get rid of. You do it. Don't tell them, this one doesn't matter. This one doesn't matter. Bagels are not going to go up for this. Trust me. If you have a bagel that you bought maybe, you know, half dozen. You got a bag of them in your pantry. And one of them became a brick because you just left it and it dried out. All you do is wet a paper towel and wrap the bagel in it and then microwave it. That's it. That's all. That's all. Wet paper towel, squeeze it out a little so it's just damp. Wrap the bagel in it and microwave it. Yep, works every time. Works every time. Works with all very permeable things like any bread. Does work with pasta, though I think it comes out a little weird sometimes. Depends. Microwave bagel, ew. Do you know what microwaving is? It just heats something. My God. Also works for chips. It works for tortillas. I don't think I've ever tried that on chips. Why would you want it? Why would you do that for chips? I don't know. I'm not a big snack buyer. Chips? Chips? Really? Well, tortillas, it's fine. You know, you can do that. But if they get stale. Okay. Drying out and getting stale are like a little different. there's a point with staleness where you just shouldn't even try to resurrect them. English or U.S. chips? U.S. I think they're talking about U.S. Unless you're not talking about crisps. Unless you're talking about, you know, UK chips. I don't know. I don't know. Not sure. We'll go eat big crisps. Crisps. Fries just don't reheat. No, texture gets weird. There's so many better things you can do with potatoes than fries. I don't understand why you would do fries when you could just roast the potato. You could just bake it. Just bake it. Oh my God, why they're so much better like that. I don't dislike fries. I just feel like you give me a potato and you're like, what are you gonna do with it? And I'm like, I'm roasting that shit. I'm wrapping it in foil and throwing it under a fire. You know what I mean? Like I'm not even doing anything to it. I'm just throwing it under a fire. And then later I'm gonna dig it out and be like, oh, it's so hot, and then eat it, man. It's just so good. It's just so good. Even better, sweet potatoes, you don't even have to do anything to it. You can eat a potato with nothing on it if it's roasted well, but you know, it's not the same as sweet potato. I don't know, man. Make soup with it? That's what I'm saying when I was talking about soup earlier. I was saying it's usually so easy. You can just roast the thing and then blend the thing and then you eat it. Yeah, 감자볶음, exactly. You do this with potato soup. There are two different types that I like to make. One is where I pretty much just make a baked potato. I don't slice them in half or anything, right? I just stab holes in it and I do it whole like a regular baked potato. That way it doesn't lose too much moisture. Bake it all the way through. And then I just smash it up and add some cream. Maybe butter, whatever, you know, whatever level of dairy you like. I like my shit very dairy. And I just blend it. You put it over the stove, you blend them together, immersion blender, leave it there. You can throw cheese in, melt it in if you want to be all gratuitous, you know, and just season it however you like. I'll usually also throw onions in the oven and garlic at the same time. Just a little later because the potatoes take a little longer, you know. And sometime later I throw those in, let them roast, and I just blend that shit, dude. You don't need to do anything else. Yeah, putting a mirepoix in there is usually pretty good too. Just for extra, you know, good stuff. Adds a little bit of depth to the flavor. It's so easy, man. Once you learn the joy of like tray baking stuff and blending it into a soup, you're gonna want to cook like that half the time because it's so easy. It's so easy, but it still tastes good, right? It still tastes nice. You should do it. Trust and believe. I think you might try growing tomatoes this spring. Trust me when I say this. Just do one tomato plant. Unless you're trying to provide for your whole family. Just do one, maybe two tomato plants. Because you're going to grow that plant. And it's going to yield a billion tomatoes. And you're going to be like, what do I do with all these? You know, you're going to be like covered in them. If you are the type of person who likes to make a lot of sauce yourself and then freeze it and stuff, then like, yeah, do more. But if you're one person, even two people, three, one plant is probably enough. You know, just be aware one plant gives a wild amount of yield. Same with zucchini. Yeah, cucumbers can be like that too. They can be like that too. I used to do a bunch in those like community gardens, you know, where you can kind of there's certain parks and things that have community gardens, and you can go to them and do the whole thing. I had a cucumber plant, an eggplant, and a tomato. Oh, and green beans. I had green beans on a trellis. I had this little like rectangular plot in the community garden that I used. And those were the ones that I kept going for years. The amount of yield I got from just those, just one of each of those, was a lot. Now I had a huge family, so it was fine, you know. But still, if I was like living alone, I would have had way too fucking much. You know, you get so much. And you can freeze things, you know, you can turn things into other stuff, whatever, but it ends up being a lot. I would often do growing basil near a window. Growing any herbs near a window, but especially basil. You get so much. You're up to your ears in basil. You can only make just so much pesto and freeze just so much chopped basil for seasoning. Like, it's too much. One basil plant. Just one is good. So, just be aware. Be aware. If you grow any more of that, you're going to have to start giving it out, which maybe is a good thing. If you're like in the suburbs and you have neighbors, you can probably give stuff to people. Probably just good, you know, or bring them to work or whatever. But your mom got a greenhouse and planted only cucumbers and tomatoes, and we ended up eating tomato and cucumber salads for months. Yeah, it can get to be a little much. It can be a lot. I wanted to grow cabbage. I don't have any land, though. I always wanted to get one of those spots where you have like a little roof garden. Those are so expensive. It's like I'm never getting that shit, but I always wanted that. Just a little roof planter. Oh. Cabbage. Cabbage. I wanted to be a cabbage grower. I was watching. Have I shown you guys grow veg? I think I have, right?
This right here. You have hide for 10-inch forehead. Good job, but disappointing. Hope all is well.
Hey, man. Your joke didn't work on me. You ever seen grow veg? Let me find it. He had a cabbage video. Now, cabbage growing masterclass. Secret to year-round harvests. I want to show you this. I saw this dude sitting next to this cabbage that he grew, and it was the only time I ever thought, you know what, maybe the suburbs are all right. Because I saw him sitting next to his cabbage that he grew in his backyard, and I was like, oh, fuck, look at that. Look at that fucking cabbage. Hold on, we'll go here. I'll show you. Let me show you this. Well, now you know. Hashtag not sponsored, by the way. Anyway, I love Grow Veg. That's the best channel. It's the, it's the best one on the platform. All right, I want to play games.